In this episode of the Whiskey and Things podcast, we welcome back Jeff Whisky onto the show, and we talk infinity bottles, or as Billy Abbott would say, house blends.
And we get to try some of his liquidy goodness as we taste a blend which Jeff has concocted himself, the Jeff Whisky 3-year-old sherry blend.
We love hearing from you on our social media platforms, so go log on. Go log on for, images and videos and stuff. At Whiskey and Things Podcast on Instagram and at Whiskey and Things on Facebook and Twitter.
And to make sure that you get served a fresh glass of Whiskey and Things every week, make sure you've hit that subscribe button within your favourite podcast platform.
You're listening to Whiskey and Things with Nick Kent and Dave Giles.
So, welcome to Whiskey and Things. I am Dave Giles.
And I'm still Nick Kent, annoyingly.
No. Definitely not. So you may remember that a few weeks ago, I'm talking to you, listener. Now I'm not talking to Nick. I'm done with that. I've boosted his ego
Doesn't
there
even
enough.
Care what I've done the last 2 seconds since I last spoke to him.
Exactly. So a few weeks ago, we chatted to Jeff Whisky about the Johnny Walker Green Label, and on that day,
we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it very much.
We did so. Good
episode that.
But on that day, we also tasted a second whiskey with him, which we have made into its own episode. Yes, he sent us his own blend. Jeff Whisky 3-year-old sherry blend. So, Jeff Whisky has a great YouTube channel. You have to check it out if you haven't already. It's just Jeff Whisky. But he's back again. Good friend of the show. Here we go with Jeff Whisky.
Hi, everyone. I'm here.
Welcome back to the show, Jeff Whisky. Hey, it seems like forever ago, Jeff.
It's so long.
It seems so long, so long ago. Obviously, it was episode 66 we last had you on, which we recorded on the same day as this. So we won't do any how are you doing, because people, if they really want to know how you were doing at this particular moment, just go and re-listen to episode 66. Yeah. But before we get to chatting about anything, we're going to pour this blend that you sent us. Now, this is your own house blend, a 3-year-old sherry blend.
I'm excited. at this. This is my first DIY blend that anyone's kind of put together.
Yeah, I wouldn't get your hopes up too highly.
Oh, I have, Jeff. I have.
My hopes are so high. I've been singing that song all day.
Well, prepare to be crushed.
Good on the nose. Liking that. We'll chat about it later, but...
Tell us, Jeff, what made you decide to start doing an infinite, not just one, but multiple infinity bottles?
Well, so the first infinity bottle I tried, I had a little bottle like this. So it's a 3 centiliter bottle. No, that's tiny, isn't it?
30, isn't it?
That's the one, yeah. And so I thought I'm going to put all the last parts of each bottle I have into there. And it went really well. So I measured each bit perfectly, put it all in and left it for about a month. And it came together quite nicely. So I was like, oh, this is really good. So I shared it out with people and it disappeared quickly.
What was it called? Jeff's Secret Blend?
It's got to have a cool name.
I don't think that one had a name, to be honest. I think I referred to it as, I did have a name actually. I think I called it Jeffrey James International Blend it was.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So that's like different parts of my name. Jeffrey James sounds better than James Jeffrey. And I'm not including my first name because, mysterious.
Mysterious. Was there any peaty whiskey in that, Jeff?
There wasn't in the first one. But Pete got involved with the second one.
Interesting. So how many have you done?
So I've done 2 infinity blends and I've also done lots of finishing. So I've bought, which is what the current one mainly is. So the second blend was I had a Hague Clubman. So not the single grain, the more mixer one. So I thought I'm going to create a blend. I called it Blend It Like Beckham.
Nice.
Amazing.
Can't resist like a pun. And it was disgusting. It really was bad. So that kind of shunted any idea of doing an infinity blend.
So explain. So what did you do? What did you finish it in? What?
Yeah.
So I brought it here for your viewers of the Patreon could see it, but to describe it, it's I think it's like a 1.5 litre barrel.
It's a tiny cask. It looks like a birdhouse.
That looks like
It
a
was.
money
I
box.
took it off the tree. There was one in there, so
Once held redbreast. Yeah?
nice.
No. You like that?
See what you did there.
I enjoyed that a lot.
See what
Thanks.
you did.
So what I decided, so I got that for Christmas, and I had Buffalo Trace do White Dog, which is it's like new make or moonshine.
Nick,
So
you've got some, haven't you? Yeah, I was going to say, you've got a
yeah,
bottle of that right there.
Yeah.
So that's what I used in my first one. So I put it into so it was a new barrel when I got it, put it in there to see what happened. The color changed, flavor got slightly better.
Right.
Not a lot.
This is very like gooseberry yogurt is what I had from this.
Yes.
From the start off. So how did it change that flavour?
It got more woody, more spicy, less ethanol, but it didn't change enough to quail my taste for exploring.
Quail
then
your
I
taste.
decided-
All the bird puns are coming out today.
Sorry, I'm thinking of another one as well for a comeback, but I just can't. I was just going to wing it, but I couldn't get anything.
Is that a right wing or a left wing?
That's Nick's area of expertise.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
Cool back.
with his mullet,
Hey!
I'm a big fan. Coming back.
Carry on.
Yeah, so you left. How long did you originally leave that for then before you decided to try it?
So I left the White Dog for 6 months, and then I shared it out. It was okay at best. So I thought, okay, let's do it again. So I brought, it was just a moonshine, just a generic cheap one. And that was awful. It was very corn heavy, and I put it straight in after the White Dog. And yeah, it didn't come out well.
Right.
That was one I was very happy to share out with people just to get it gone.
No good for cocktails even.
It was like hot, sweaty, boiled sweet corn is a good way to describe it. And that was complimentary. So I thought, let's do what the experts do. Let's make it a finishing barrel. So I bought the cheapest sherry I could find and poured that into the barrel, left that for a month, and then poured that back into the bottle, which it made no difference to the sherry.
Interesting.
So then I put, which is the 3-year-old blend now, which is majority Tesco Special Reserve.
Get out of town.
Got one of them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Not
the
too
one.
bad. It's quite nice.
No, it's not bad at all, really, for what it is. And so I bought the litre bottle. I think the litre bottle was like 14, 16 pounds.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money. Yeah.
So I thought, if it goes wrong, I've not lost the lot, and it'll just get mixed in with like ginger beer.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's good party whiskey, that.
Yeah.
Like, you can just have that at a party for someone. It's a Wells whiskey, you'd say. Give us a Wells. But
So I left that in the barrel. I think, I want to say I did half of it for 3 months. And then it was at the point where it was becoming very sherried, which is what it's bottled at, and which I believe is what I've sent you, is that age. And then I also...
mad colour on it.
I'm trying to think, there was another whiskey in there, but I can't think what it is. There was only a little bit of another whiskey. That's going to really annoy me now. I'm not sure what it was, to be honest. So to give it a bit more life. But my goal was to take as cheap ingredients as possible, and then see if I can make it so people think it's a fancier whiskey.
Right.
So I've sent it out to lots of people and got their thoughts. Some people have said it's brilliant, and they've compared it to Glendronach, who's famously quite sherried, and other people have come back and said it's absolutely awful.
Awful. People said it's awful.
Some of the I like brutal honesty in that lot, and some people have said they're glad it was only a small sample because the rest have been chucked away.
Interesting. Because I wouldn't say awful.
Acquired taste, is that more of a tactical term?
No, I mean, if you'd not told me it was cheap Tesco own brew imitation whiskey blend, then I wouldn't have believed you, because it's so much better than that. It's so much better than that.
The nose is better than the taste. I do.
Yes.
I love the nose. For me, the taste is I'm getting kind of digestive biscuit, hobnob kind of thing.
Oh, that's what
Which
I
I
put in the
kinda
barrel.
like.
That's what it was. The biscuit barrel I used, didn't I?
It's a biscuit barrel. There it is.
Amazing.
But-
It tastes like port.
oh, really?
I'm getting a real strong port vibe to it.
I can see that now you've said it. Maybe I just went down the wrong aisle.
But I like port, so therefore I like this. But this is something that I wouldn't have a big glass of, and I'd probably only have one a night of. But there's definitely a place for it on my shelf. If this existed, I wouldn't be disappointed. It would be like almost a finisher, a nightcap kind of thing. And like, oh yeah, one thick. It's quite thick, isn't it?
This thick. Yeah.
It's really surprising. So the Tesco special, Highland special, whatever it's called, the 3-year-old, is only 40%. And that was quite thin. So I did wonder if being in the barrel for longer, if it would, because the barrel was leaking ever so slightly.
Interesting.
And also there's definitely angel share was prevalent due to the fact of how much it went down by the time I decanted out the barrel.
Right.
But the stuff that was leaking out was almost like syrup. It was really thick and it's left quite a nice permanent stain on the wood counter it was on.
Lovely.
So that's a bit of a scratch and sniff spot in the kitchen.
So you had the barrel, I'm going to say portrait. So on its flat bit.
Landscape, I had it. So I had it like
that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've got a little wooden rack that goes on the bottom of it.
Right.
For people who are listening, this barrel is, imagine Toy Story and the pig money box. It's that kind of size. Ham, the one who's voiced by John Ratzenberger, who also does a voice in every single Pixar film, and at one point, as a result, was the highest paid person in Hollywood, even though hardly anyone knows who he is, unless they've seen Cheers. Cheers. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Oh, we finished again.
Yeah.
See you guys.
You're listening to the Whiskey and Things podcast.
Jeff, I'm really impressed that you've even done this. I think it's incredible that this was an experiment you tried, and it has worked, because obviously it has altered the liquid as it should have done.
I'm A-Bing with the special reserve at the moment. It's altered. It's nicer. It's nicer. Yeah, it's thicker. The colour's changed a lot. Yeah, the thinness of the special reserve is now prevalent. I'm preferring yours. So yes, good work. One thing I was wondering, have you thought about, they sell those kind of staves, those mini staves, don't they, to finish your own whiskey. Have you thought about doing that, where you put the...
I've looked into that. That's before I got the barrel. I looked into that because I thought, that'd be interesting, not to see the colour change, but to see how much it imparts in there. And most reviews I saw was it's a bit of a con job.
Okay.
So it doesn't apparently do much apart from change the colour.
Right.
But that was how I found out about
the little barrels.
But unfortunately, they've gotten very expensive. So Master and Malt, I think, sell the kit, but their prices have gone up. So I got
staves or the barrel?
The barrels.
Right.
So I got mine, I believe it was 2 years ago now. And
I kind of want one now.
It was about £50, I think. So that was my birthday present for the year. And it was, obviously, you only have one birthday a year. But it was a case of it's something I got really excited for. And I was keeping track of the days, and I would write the day I filled it. And
but you forgot to write down what other whiskey was in it.
Yeah, it's really. I had a label, and I thought I'll stick it on the barrel so I won't lose it. And unfortunately, it's got lost.
Oh.
I will remember. When I remember, I'll ping you both a message so you can see if you can pull it out. But
so good. We with Billy last week, we did an Edgedour or Edgedour, depending on how you want to say it. And they didn't know what barrel that was in.
No,
they think it's red wine. They didn't know. So, you need a bit of mystery in the world. So don't worry about it.
Definitely that'll be the next. Unfortunately, this barrel, I think it's fair to say it's spent. It's, was it 4 or 5 times I've done it now, and it just doesn't retain liquid very well.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's now a feature in the kitchen, which we just plonk Alexa on top just because, to make it look slightly better.
Yes.
But
that's pretty cool though. But you're right. If the price has gone up from that, that's not ideal, is it?
No, I've seen them selling on eBay, I think, for it was 50 quid. It's about 80 quid. But lots of barrels you can buy are lined. So they have a plastic lining on the inside.
Oh, good for finishing.
So they're more just for looking pretty.
Yeah.
But so this one was just pure wood, and you kind of had to clean it to begin with, flush all the loose bits of wood out. But it's a really fun experiment. And if you see one cheap, I would recommend doing it.
So could you have charred the inside, done all that stuff as well?
Just put a lighter inside. I'll see what happens if I do that now.
Yeah, put it over the gas hob.
Rotisserie barrel.
Yeah. You might get a new lease of life out of the barrel there, Jeff.
It was described. I think this is the one. It was described as medium char. It was, so it's not like alligator char where it's completely crispy, but it's done the job. It kept me busy for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got any plans to do any more?
If I find another one that's like a decent price, I would, because I would love to do a red wine. So I'm really enjoying red wine finishes at the moment. Recently there's an independent bottler called Wax House, and they do really good ones, and they done a linkwood that was red wine finished, and that's amazing, and it's really jammy.
Right.
So I think that would transfer really well and add to the thickness of a special brew. But yeah, it just comes down to, I'm a cheapskate, so if I find one cheap, I would be tempted.
Yeah, I think that makes it fun, doesn't it? None of us are made of money, so we wouldn't want to be blowing too much on it, but for a bit of fun. For example, you told us, and this is the one other thing that I wanted to bring up. Nick and I are both still sitting on our Chivas blending kits, which you told us about back in the day because they were on offer, and it was great value. I can't remember what we got. I think it was like
18 quid or something.
18 quid, ridiculous. But you'd got one of those as well, didn't you? Was that one of your starting of trying to figure out how to blend? Or
that could have been the match that lit the fuse. Yeah, I think because that was before the barrel, and this is being filmed on Prime Day, and currently it is £14, the Chivas Regal blending set.
No way!
I'll tell you what, I might pick one of those up just for the beaker, because I smashed my beaker from that set.
Idiot.
I was distraught.
And you get the bottles as well, so even once the bottles have gone, you've got the glass bottles, which they're quite expensive as well for sending out the samples.
Yeah, they're always helpful.
I've always leaned towards blended whiskey.
Why?
I don't know if it's an underdog thing, or like, because single malt is notoriously known for being the best and, the top tier. But I've had so many blended whiskies which I've preferred to any single malt. And I think now it's having a bit of a renaissance and a big pushback as there's blands. Sorry, I've had one of my own special brews there. It says 40%, it's not.
Yeah, I was going to say, what have you put in here? Should we be worried? I haven't had my dinner yet.
Yeah. So Compass Box do really good blends, and one of my favorite whiskies, Cutty Sark Prohibition. That's like top tier for me, and that's a blended whiskey. And I think blended had a bad name where it was first like every whiskey was blended, and then single malt became the fashionable thing. But I think blends are coming back. But I don't know if it's a price thing as well. Blends tend to be cheaper. But
I think they're coming back with the cocktail culture and stuff that a lot of brands like last week
100%.
or a few weeks ago, Chivas Regal, they're pushing a lot of that at the moment. But yeah, you're right. It is coming back a bit. But no, some of the nicest whiskies are blends, yeah, for sure. They do have a bit of a bad name because a lot of people, because let's face it, a lot of us, our first whiskies were those party whiskies, which,
Wells.
Yeah, the Wells whiskies. Is it just me who knows that term? Were you too surprised to hear that?
I've never heard that term.
In America, if you want the cheapest whiskey behind the bar, would you want the Well whiskey? Or want a whiskey and
I
Coke?
just thought you were pronouncing Bell's just
Bell's
slightly
wrong.
posher.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, I thought you were trying to make a Bell seem more extravagant.
Yes.
No, I wasn't. No, it's the Well whiskey. Anyway.
It's a glass of Bell's.
That's just me then. I might have been wrong. It was, it was a long time ago, and clearly I was very drunk because I was drinking.
Yeah, I was going to just start putting W in front of other whiskey brands. Like, what? I was going to say, hey, Nick, do you want to whack Waniels?
That's something very different.
Yeah.
Can I get a Sameson's? Yeah.
A Wameson's.
Anyway, what are we talking about? Oh, blends. That was it before I went off on a tangent. But no, you're right. Yeah, that's good though.
Wally Walker.
If you're,
That's like the budget version.
Yeah, that's the knockoff version.
No, I'm just looking at my whiskey shelf now, trying to think of funny names.
Wagavulin.
That's the dog's friendly version.
Well, Wallywag really works, doesn't it, Nick?
Yeah.
You're a fan of Short Charlotte? I had to date a Short Charlotte. Anyway, let's move on. Right, where were we? No, I think we're good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this whiskey. This is really nice. Well done.
Yeah,
well done,
this
sir.
is great.
Glad
Good
you're
job.
enjoying it. I should say it's not for sale or anything. I don't want to get in any trouble with.
This is the first whiskey we've done which no one can buy.
No one can
at all.
buy. Absolutely.
We've done stuff where it's so old, it's not around anymore, but this is like exclusive. So I don't know what we should Don't know what the thumbnail is going to be this week, Dave.
When I've done my Shivers blend, I will definitely send you one of mine and one of Nick's. Because it's something, the reason we've been sitting on it is because we're waiting until we're together, because it's something we want to do together. We think it'd be more fun to actually, rather than do it as a Zoom call, so we can like try each other's instantly. So yeah, we'll definitely, assuming there's some left, we'll send you a sample of our own.
And as well, I mentioned a few weeks ago, anyway, I'm going to be sending, I've got my Jam Session Infinity bottle, which is nearly finished. It's got all these lovely whiskies, which most of them have been on the, a lot of them have been on the show. So I've nearly done the 70 CL, but I will send you a sample of this, and we'll get your opinions on that.
Is any of Jeff's whiskey going in there?
No, it's only full bottle stuff. No sample stuff goes in here.
Right,
it's been on my shelves. It goes in here. Unless it's a peaty thing, I've got my separate Lady Lager blend as well.
Although you did get one wrong, didn't you? You did put one bit of peat in your jam session.
Luckily, it was only the Cotswolds peated cask, so it wasn't too much. And when it's in 25, mil in that much, it won't notice that much.
Have you tasted it as you've gone along with that?
I have not, because I want it to be exactly the measurements which are on the back until I decanter. I even worked out a few weeks back what the actual ABV was, so I can do a little average.
No, I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that would be accurate at all.
Is it just a case of taking the average of them, or are you planning to? Or
I add up all the ABVs, and then I divide it by how many whiskies are in there, and it came out to about 48%.
I bet that's going to be a pretty mean whiskey.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. That is the Jam Session Infinity Reserve Whiskey and Things with an E on there. But there we go.
Amazing. Anyway, so if any of our listeners have done this as well, anyone else out there, although Jeff is one of our listeners as well. In fact, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get each of our listeners on in turn. The plan is to have more listeners than episodes. That's the goal, Jeff. That is the goal.
I believe in you.
We're aiming to get there. So thanks for joining us. The plan is that if someone might like Jeff listens, and then we got a new listener we can get on, like we did with New Dram Drinker. We had Nikki and Anthony on because of you. So all works out well. I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't know where you're going with that.
I think Jeff's whiskey's gone to my head.
I want to know what else is in it.
Yeah, that was
Did
the
you
missing part.
sterilize that cask?
Yeah, it's absinthe. That's the missing part.
Yeah, I'm starting to hallucinate. If any of our other listeners have done their own blends or infinity bowls, please do let us know. And if you have enough to send us a sample, we'd love to taste them, because I'm fascinated by this stuff. Absolutely fascinated by this stuff. And
that's a bit, I don't know. People sending random spirit through the post.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Send me your own brew. Please do.
Recipe for disaster, it sounds like you got there.
Can't be worse than Nick's Jam Session.
Hey, it smells beautiful. Anyway.
All right.
Anyway.
Jeff, thanks for joining us. I'm sure we'll have you on again. We'll see you soon, I'm sure. Thanks once again for sharing and be so lovely with your time and your whiskey.
Cheers. Cheers to you both.
Yes.
Cheers to you, sir.
You're listening to Whiskey and Things.
So, Nick, seeing as I hogged the intro, do you want to do this bit?
No. Oh, yeah. Go on. You can watch that full uncut video of that chat with Mr. Jeff Whisky on our Patreon page over at www.patreon.com/whiskey and things.
Yep, and Nick will be putting links to all the whiskies we've tasted in this week's show in the description.
Yeah, this is. I basically.
Sorry, I hadn't read that before I started reading it, and then realised. And of course, you can find out more about Jeff Whisky at jeffwhisky.com. And Nick, I'm sure we'll put all the links to his social media and his YouTube channel in the show notes.
Yes, because his @handle is different on every one. So don't worry, we've worked that out for you. We've worked it out. They're all in the description. Just go and click on them. And,
if you're worried about I'm sure you're not worrying, but if you're wondering about where the show notes are, if you're in your podcast app or whatever you're using, if you click on the show, a long list may come up with loads of links. Now, some of them do this better than others. If it doesn't work for you on your podcast platform, then just go to our website, whiskyandthings.com.
whiskyandthings.com. So there we go. End of another show. Thank you very much for tuning in. We love hearing from you on our social media stuff. So get on there if you want to say hi, etc.
Yeah, as I said, I want to hear all about your own personal blends and infinity bottles. Anyone done that? Let us know about it. And if you're willing to send some, we would love to taste. I'd love to taste it anyway. I want to taste all your own blends. All of them.
Yes, please. Send them through. P.O. Box. No, we don't have a P.O. Box.
I want to taste all of your liquidy goodness. So
Anyway.
On that note, the Angels, Nick, have had their share.
And so have you, Dave. And so have you, listeners.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming. Whiskey and Things has been brought to you by And Things Productions.